What is up, Capricorn? Welcome to your general timeless reading. This is for all Capricorn placements. So let's get into it. The intention for this reading is what you most need to know. So I'm going to be using Marchetti Tarot and Tattoo Tarot. Let's get into it. I think I actually want to start with Tattoo Tarot for you. Capricorn. Let's see what's going on for you. Capricorn. I heard decisions. Capricorn. I heard follow-up. I feel like you're literally taking inventory of things. You might be journaling a lot or even just thinking a lot. I feel like you just have a lot of decisions to make. There's a lot of scheduling to do. I feel like there's just a lot of decisions. It feels like decisions. Like, I really need to figure this out. Do I really want this anymore? Do I really want to go to that place? Do I want to stay at the job, stay in this relationship, be friends with this person? Like, it feels like things like that. Then we have the Page of Cups, the Lovers, Eight of Swords. Okay. I'm really fixated on this Page of Cups for some reason. I feel like you know what you want. This Page of Cups feels very gentle. It does. It feels like, I feel like your third eye is really open right now. I feel like this Lovers, you're starting to see this relationship clearly. It's a very strong connection. I think you recognize that. I think you recognize the connection as something that's very transformative. Your third eye is very open. I like this. I like that the third eye is really open with this. It tells me that you're starting to see this very clearly. Here we go. Let me show you that. Okay. You're starting to see this very clearly. Let's keep going. I heard seduction with this. I'm going to take this top one because it fell over my thumb. Yeah, Ten of Wands. Four of Cups and the Ten of Wands. I literally feel like going like this, and I heard forgotten. When I go, to me, this reminds me of like Reiki sessions. When I do quantum healings, this to me is a removal. This is a removal. This is an energetic removal, not cord cutting. We're not talking cord cuttings here. We're talking removal. Like if something's no longer like if you were to clean a chakra, right? And you're saying like, oh, you have some like gunk stuck up in here, right? You're going to reach in, you're going to say, okay, we're going to remove this. And you no longer need this heaviness, right? We're going to take this heaviness. It's like an energetic purge. And so this would allow the client or somebody to start feeling like emotional, like, oh, okay, I'm free, I'm safe to cry, to release the burden, right? Ten of Wands. Somebody's realizing there's an emotional release happening. Four of Cups. This feels like a lack of recognition about something. The Four of Cups is an energy of rejection, but it's also like something where it's like an emotional, it's like not feeling fulfilled. It's like you're being offered something. Either you're not getting what you wanted, or you weren't accepting something, or you weren't open to something. But the Ten of Wands here tells me that it was very heavy. Very heavy, very burdensome. And this is an energy of like a fallen angel to me. To me, this is a very heavy, very dark energy for like fallen angel for obvious reasons, right? It's fallen, it's dark, it's black, it's a black bird, right? It's black. Okay, cool. Bottom of the deck, Five of Swords. I heard distortion with this. Five of Swords to me is actually inner conflict. Okay, so immediately when I go here, I feel third eye with this. Third eye is where distortion is. Third eye is the affirmation of I trust. I feel this in the back of my throat. Like if you were to tap like the top of your, the top of your like I don't know, like not the top, but like it feels like the top of your throat. Like if you put your thumb in your mouth and try to reach all the way back, it feels like the top of the back of your throat. That's literally what it feels like. Okay, so these two are tied. I feel it. These two are tied. This is communication. Okay, so now it's going up into my ear and I feel it in the back of my neck. I don't like this kind of energy. This kind of energy to me comes off as a lot of arguments, a lot of fighting. And now it's going to the heart space. So this is very burdensome. There's very strong connection, but the fact that this particular tattoo tarot to me, the imagery in this particular deck speaks more to me than the actual traditional meaning of tarot cards. Like the fact that these two snakes are very they're very deceptive energy, but they're also entangled. They're a mesh. Their energy is a mesh. This tells me that both people might have lost their individual identity and might have become too consumed in this actual dynamic. Okay, so it's deceptive. A loss of identity has happened. Okay, so let's clarify now. I don't know if I want to use this deck anymore. I want to use retrospective tarot. It's very similar to that energy. It's just the masculine of that deck. This is my feminine deck. This is my masculine deck. By the same artist, retrospective tarot. It's just my feminine and masculine deck is all. It feels more masculine. And we are going through distorted masculine energy in the collective. So it makes sense to use this rather than the feminine. Okay. Capricorn. Page of Cups. I heard fearless. This feels something about this Page of Cups is so gentle though. It's not fearless in a sense of like, oh, I'm going to speak back to you. I feel like somebody's really starting to get to a place of like, I can just fearlessly love myself and be myself and just, it's very heartfelt. It's immediately like we go from this heaviness, like understanding the heaviness of what transpired here, to being in like, oh, I see it, and they really release it. I like this. Let's look at this Page of Cups. Let's look at this Page of Cups. Yeah, Page of Cups. Validation for me as a reader that the channel message is correct. Chariot in reverse, they don't want to do it anymore. Six of Pentacles in reverse and the Chariot. They don't want to do it anymore. No, whoever, if this is you, you're out. You don't want to do it. You don't want to move forward. You don't want to keep investing. No, new direction. Immediately my third eye just went really open. That tells me that is in alignment. Like that's what you see, that's what you trust in. Affirmation is I trust, I see clearly. And yeah, because now the throat's opening up. I'm getting more air to the throat. So that tells me that we're speaking in alignment with what is happening here for Capricorn energy, which makes sense because you also have Pluto in your sign right now, which is transformation, death, and rebirth. Okay? Sorry, I don't know what that phase at the end was. I don't know. I'm a Capricorn rising, so I get a little sassy sometimes. Let's look at the Lovers. The World. There's the ending. 10 of Wands in reverse. Yeah, so just we're getting a lot of validation right now. The World in reverse. Very, very strong connection. It's brought you through this cycle though. You're learning what you need to learn about it. It's helping you seek. Okay. We're shifting into the value of self. That's what it is. We're shifting into the value of self. We're shifting into seeing the lessons you still need to work on. You're going into a hermit. You're going into hermit mode. That's what this is. That's what this is. Because everything that I'm feeling is on my masculine side. And so that's why we were drawn to the masculine deck. Now you're going to go into hermit mode. You're going to work on healing your own distorted masculine. So in this relationship, you probably mirror distorted masculine energy. That's very much so what's going on here. Distorted masculine energy is controlling tendencies. It could be ego battles. It could be it's almost like you don't want me to say. It's very weird. It's very weird. This could be anxious avoidant kind of dynamics. It could be very much so that it's very very shut down. Very shut down. And now you're going into like the nurturing self, compassion for yourself, tapping into your feminine to heal your masculine, working with your dualities. I feel it only on the right side of my body, and that's the masculine side. Let's look at the Eight of Swords. I feel it particularly in my jaw and into my ear, and that tells me that you might overthink things a lot. And I feel it in my arm, which tells me that you might really want to take action on things, but it also tells me that it stresses you and you hold it, and it's recent because it's at the top of your vagus nerve and it hasn't moved to the trunk of your body quite yet. So it tells me that you could easily transmute this right now, but it also tells me that if you don't work through transmuting it now, it could also manifest into physical illness if you allow it to sink to the trunk of your body, so like below your torso and your legs. So just be mindful of that. Don't attach to what I just said. Just go outside for some walks, maybe go to the gym, go find a sense of community. A sense of community is great, like a yoga studio or the church, do things like that. Like maybe even go into therapy. Like therapy would be great, things of that nature. Okay, so let's look at this Eight of Swords. King of Pentacles. Okay, I'm just going to take all of them. As we get in, this is when your healing process starts. It gets heavier and heavier because I feel like you're purging it. You're really going through the purge now. We have the Five of Swords, Strength, Tower, King of Pentacles. Oh, Lordy. I like that you're healing your masculine energy. You're becoming very aware that this is the change that needs to happen. Tower, Aries, Mars, Scorpio energy, Pluto energy. Strength, Leo energy. You're healing, it's the ego. I know the word ego has a negative connotation. Language is just language though, right? The ego is what protects us. It's a tool that is misused quite frequently because it just needs to be healed, okay? The ego just needs to be healed. We need to learn to use it properly, and that's what you're starting to do because you're realizing there's a lot of conflict around the ego, the Five of Swords, okay? And that conflict is just trying to protect you, is trying to guard you, and you don't need to be guarded or protected because you got yourself. You got yourself. You're protecting you. You got you. You're smart. You're intelligent. You're strong. You're resilient. You don't need to constantly be on guard or in fight or flight. Okay? You can take a breath and be slow and realize that your trauma does not define you. Okay? Let's look at the Four of Cups. I heard forgetfulness. I heard sorrows and sadness. Okay, this feels like waves. This feels like waves. Okay, good day. Oh, now I'm sinking into like depression. Good day, sinking into depression. This could even be moments. Yeah, see, now my throat's getting tight. Moments throughout the day. This makes me sick. This makes me really nauseous. I don't like this energy. This feels like someone. This is the struggle of transmuting. These go together. That's exactly what this is. This makes me really nauseous. Like I feel this in my back. Death, yeah. So there's the change. There's the transformation. This is the Pluto energy. That's the transmuting of it, and that's why it's really like it takes a physical toll. Because let me tell you this. I'm just gonna say it like this: move slow. Move slow. Be slow. Because if you notice throughout this reading, the page, I wanted to talk slow. I had to consciously tell myself that this wasn't my energy to remind myself to move slow again. Because I started to rev up through this because I'm feeling whoever's energy this is. That's not my energy. That's the anxiety. That's the trauma. That person wants to move at that pace. They're sitting in a high state. They need to remind themselves that they're not that state, that they are safe, that they can work through it, that they can exhale, they can breathe, that they're in control of their mind and just bring themselves back down. Because revving oneself up like that makes you physically ill. Like immediately it was making me sick. In a second I said, wait, not mine? I don't feel sick anymore. The mind's very, very powerful. So when we take on those kinds of energies, it has a psychological and physical reaction. It's not just because of energy and tarot. It's quite literally changing the brain chemistry when you experience depression or trauma of any sort and you don't allow yourself the time to heal and change your patterns. So wake up and practice gratitude right away because it will quite literally create brand new pathways in the brain. Okay. But again, this is just for entertainment purposes. I'm not a psychologist or anything. But hey, you know, like, maybe read about it. Educate yourself. See if it's maybe true or something. I don't know. I just read tarot and research a lot of things and have a few degrees and things. Five of Pentacles. Five of Swords. Five of Pentacles, Five of Swords. This is scarcity mindset. It's a scarcity mindset that's perpetuating a lot of, this immediately feels like guilt, shame. Five of Swords is the card of see, the anxiety is coming right back up. I feel it. I'd highly recommend doing breath work at this time. And I'd highly recommend spending time outside if you can, right? Or even just opening your windows, allowing your windows to get fresh air on one side of the house through the other, right? Allow air to move through. It will really cleanse the energy, right? Read. Don't spend time on your phone. Find things to stimulate your mind, okay? But with the Five of Swords and the Five of Pentacles, fives make a 10. And fives are also indicative of change. You have a lot of cyclic energy. You're coming to the end of a cycle, which is really nice. But this scarcity mindset, this lack mentality, you're about to move out of that. Because after the Five of Pentacles was the Six. But the lack mentality, that's why I said shift into a state of gratitude. Oh my gosh, right now, like, this is so hard. And like, you might be replaying that moment over and over. Or those moments where there's struggle over and over. It doesn't define you. That struggle does not define you. It doesn't. It does not define you, right? I'm grateful for this moment. I'm grateful for being here today. I'm grateful for this community. I'm grateful for having something that's going to tell me that it's going to be okay, right? I'm grateful for the food I had today, right? The money in my wallet, right? The body that I have and what it's been through and how it's still kicking right now, you know? For real. If you can walk throughout your day and continuously get into a state of gratitude. I'm grateful for these trees. I'm grateful for this view. I'm grateful for this breath. Continuously saying gratitude is going to shift you into a higher frequency, a better mindset, and you're going to be more focused on the positive, that the lack mentality will soon diminish. Wheel of Fortune. Things are switching much so in your favor for a brand new, very stable foundation. But it does take the work to reprogram the mind, okay? But you got it, and I believe in you. You're going through a lot of change. You have Death, you got the World, you have two fives, you have a lot of cyclic energy, and you have the Tower, and you have the Ten of Wands, and you have the Chariot, and you have the Ten of Wands again. A lot of energies of endings, of cycles closing out, of movement, right? The Chariot is a card of movement. A lot of it. This is great though. This is really good because it means that you're changing. And changing means that a brand new version of you is being born. And that means that you have the opportunity to see yourself with fresh eyes. And that's amazing because that means that you get to decide who you want to be today and tomorrow and the next day. And if you don't like it today, you have to wake up tomorrow and make someone brand new. Brand new. So, I wish you the best on your journey. If you want a personal reading or Reiki session, book it down below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.